Plagiarism is something that I need to talk about briefly. Plagiarism is very, very serious. Very, very, very serious. Now in this class you don't have a paper, so that's not a big concern. But if you are on the message boards and you're stealing stuff from a website or from other students, that is very problematic. Okay? There's a whole statement in the student handbook at JP Catholic on academic honesty. I would encourage you to check that section out. But suffice it to say, from the perspective of academia, plagiarism is worse than just about anything you could do. Now, that's not saying objectively speaking it's the worst thing to do. But I mean, from the standpoint of academia, it's almost like the unforgivable sin. All right? Because, let me explain. If you hold up a bank at gunpoint and you get arrested and you go to jail, you're convicted, you can still take online courses. Universities will allow you to take courses and further your education. If you attack someone in some malicious way and do damage to their personal person, to their property, if you steal cars for a living, if you avoid paying your taxes, if you do any of these things, you can go to prison, but universities and other educational institutions will still allow you to further your education by taking classes online or through correspondence, something like that. If you plagiarize, good luck. If you plagiarize, that means from academics standpoint, from academia's standpoint, we can't trust you to do your own schoolwork. And so if you plagiarize and you get in trouble for and that goes on your record, it becomes almost impossible to get into any other school or to do any further education. You understand that? Okay. I mean, people get expelled from universities for all kinds of stupid things, right? And sometimes they can, it's not frequent, but sometimes they'll find some other university that will take them in and say, all right, well, we'll give you a second chance. But if you plagiarize, you're out of luck. Because we can't trust you to do your own schoolwork. Right? So never, never, ever plagiarize. That means if you're quoting from somebody else, you put quotation marks around it, and you say, I got this from this site. If you don't do that, that's plagiarism. Right? I had a student who just copied stuff from a website. Right? Just copy and paste stuff in, put it on, place it into their assignment. Okay? And I said, what is this? And I said, oh, I forgot to put quotation marks. And you forgot to tell me what site it's from what place it's from which book, from which website, from which journal. Sorry, that's plagiarism. Okay? And that means you get an F for the assignment, you get a fail for the course, and you possibly get expelled from the school. All right? And that could be, plagiarism could be the whole paper, like you buy it online or something like that, which is really foolish because, of course, we professors know that people do that, so it's easy to figure that stuff out. And, they have software. You can actually analyze pieces of paper and see if, it's consistent with a person's regular style of speaking. Right? So it could be either a whole paper or it could be a paragraph. If you copy and paste a paragraph in, or just a sentence, that's plagiarism. Okay? Do not plagiarize. Okay? It's very serious. Another thing that you don't have to worry about so much for this course, but just by way of reference, let's say you're writing a paper on Clement of Rome. And you say, oh, I don't want to do too much work for this. I got to read 6 books for this class. I don't want to read all those books. I'll just go to Wikipedia. And you go to Wikipedia and you put the whole article in your own words, but whenever they have a quotation, you just quote from the books that they have on that website. Okay? That's not doing your own research. That's copying somebody else's research. That's plagiarism. Okay? So, for example, I received a paper once. I looked at the paper, and all of the quotations that I found in the paper and all of the citations were found in a Wikipedia article. And there wasn't anything in the paper that wasn't in the Wikipedia article. It was clearly from the Wikipedia article, right? I mean, how did you know just to quote these sources, right? That's plagiarism. I'm sorry, you fail, okay? Do not do that. Now, I feel bad saying this because it's an insult to some of your integrity, because some of you would never even consider doing this. I would say most of you would never consider doing that. I hope all of you, right? But it has happened, and it's very serious. Don't mess around with it, okay? I come down especially hard on this. I take it very, very seriously. It's intellectual theft. It's stealing someone else's intellectual property, and it's a really big deal to me. All right. So you probably won't have that problem in a paper, but don't do that on message boards to try to get extra points. Yeah.
Now, so like, does that mean that when we're writing a paper, in our bibliography, we write down everything that we ever read on the subject? Because in other schools I've gone to, you have to write down everything you ever looked at.
Works consulted, not just cited. I just want you to do works cited, so it's fine. You have to do works
Like
consulted.
when we're reading these books and we don't quote directly from them, but since we've read them enough, it becomes
That's
in
fine.
our head.
Yeah, that's fine. I mean, what I'm talking about here is when you're trying to be deceitful, okay? And we can figure that out pretty easily, okay? I'm really quite the Columbo at it. I don't want to say it's fun, but I'm good at it. I'm good at it. I pick it up real quickly, okay? So don't mess around with it. I mean it. There's students who I won't name, but even at JP Catholic, I'm sorry to say it's happened. And you can't get very far doing it. Maybe for other classes. It doesn't make it right, but you're not going to be able to pull it off here. Especially if you leave the blue hyperlinks in from the Wikipedia article. You laugh. Okay. Morons. Okay. I'm very good at this. I've discerned. I think that might be from the internet.